Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being on this webinar. We're going to begin right away, and we have really interesting content for you today. I hope you'll find some good value here. Definitely some good stuff on our webinar today, so it'll be worth your while. I'm excited to have with me our main speaker today, our expert on lead generation, who will tell us all about himself in a minute. I just want to let some more listeners log on and not miss the content. So just checking, are you there?
I'm here. I can hear you loud and clear.
Hi, excellent. Welcome. It's great to have you here. And we're going to start in just a minute. First, I wanted to, it's important to just make sure that you can all hear us. There are so many people here today, so I just wanted to make sure that you can all hear us. Let me know if there are any problems, and you can just write me a message in the message box at the bottom of the screen, and I'll be going over those throughout the webinar. So if there's anything, just let me know. Okay, I see right now everything seems okay. We can all hear each other, and just let me know if you're having any trouble with that. Okay, very nice. So I see a lot of people are here. That's very exciting. So thank you, first of all, everyone, for being here today. Actually, I see that we have people from around the world, and I'm interested to know where you're all from. So just write me in that message box where you're tuning in. Nice. Yeah, so we have many tuning in from the U.S., all different states here. We have New York, Florida, also a few from UK, Australia. Very, very nice. Okay. So great. So we really want to begin now. And again, I want to welcome you all to our webinar. And thank you for being here. Our topic today is lead generation. We will be going over the different stages of lead generation and really go into the importance and steps of each stage. So once again, our expert on lead generation will be going through everything step by step. And he will share with us the exact process that will get you to success with lead generation. So before we begin, I'd like to introduce you to our speaker. Would you like to tell us a little about yourself and how you got into lead generation and marketing?
Yes, lead generation is one of my specialities that I've actually been working with for what's been about 25 years. Me, myself, I've worked with some of the large organizations out there, that some of that you even know, some of the big brands. I got into lead generation from a client of mine, really, and it was more like a sort of request, so to speak. He was doing internet marketing way back when, before everybody used to got on sort of the so-called bandwagon. And I looked at it very carefully, and I said, wow, this is quite interesting. And as a sort of a techie sort of person, and sort of married it to understand how people say yes and why they say yes to what you've got to do. So, and then the lead generation thing sort of evolved from there. Learning some of the sort of the magical tricks that people how to persuade you to do things, and listen to some of the professionals like Zig Zigs and all these motivational speakers and how they do it and why they do it. So my sort of background has come from the old school days, and those who are also familiar with these sort of people from copywriting days will sort of sympathize with me, and sort of should actually resonate with me when I talk about lead generation.
Great, that's excellent. So let's start with what is lead generation?
Lead generation, I think, is a new term that's actually come around now, and it's really been a major shift in the market today, because generating leads itself is actually getting a customer. It's not the actual sale; it's actually just getting this acquisition between you and the actual customer itself. Can you get a person to actually do an action that may lead into a final sale? Now, you need to obviously get the targeted lead towards your business or service, and somehow do this in a way that is seamlessly. So businesses now, and small and large businesses, are now doing this lead generation way of things because they find it more cost effective. So this is what needs to be done today for the lead generation process, and it should be something that the business right now should be getting involved with. There are different types of models. That's something we will probably discuss in this summary. Really, cost per action, cost of 1,000, cost per click, cost per action. The list goes on and on and on. But they're all similarly the same. It's getting that person from where they are into what we call your funnel system, and that's what we'll be discussing in today's overview.
Could you explain a bit about those different terms that you were...
Okay, yes. The cost per 1,000, I mean, what will you do? You'll pay, for every 1,000 leads, you'll pay a set price. Say, if you take, for example, for every 1,000, I want to pay $3 US. So what it does, so every 1,000 people that come through the door, you'll pay $3 for these leads to come through the door. So, and this is just a pricing model that people choose to use. It could be from a call center. It could be something called pay-per-click. It's called PPC. You probably heard the term, Google uses this, but again, that's a model people use. There's cost per click for also you could do for each individual particular action the person does. So you may want 100 people. You get charged for 100 people. Yeah. If it's 100 cents or if it's getting $100. So that's each individual person, not per 1,000. And there's also cost per action. Same situation. If an action is taking place, you'll get charged for the action itself. Again, most technical terms, but not to worry. We'll go through these sort of things a bit later in the actual preceding sessions.
Okay, excellent. And how much information is there about the effectiveness of lead generation?
There's quite a lot on the internet right now. Please don't get overwhelmed. There's so much information out there, and I must say there are some good case studies. And I will go back to one of the case studies taken from a famous place called HubSpot. They did some wonderful case studies about lead generation and why is it so effective today. I'm just going to take one from NEC, one of the large conversations, what they did using lead gen. They actually increased email open rates to over 400%. Now that's incredible. I mean, that is one of the main areas that we were all talking about in email marketing, how to really get the open rate of an email. Now that is sometimes difficult. So lead generation, you can see it's been used in the most powerful way just to get the starting point. And this information out there is very, very critical. There is some more to that. What they did, they achieved sales and marketing alignments with HubSpot and Salesforce integration. So what they've done here is using the lead generation basic steps and formulas to integrate with different systems. So the information out there, again, you should look at this and see why people are using lead gen. See what strategies you can get out there. Again, we will go over this in greater depths of different ways you can do this, different strategies, and how to get different types of services and what people are using right now for lead gen.
Now, I know our listeners are here from all different kinds of countries and also different businesses. Why do they need this? How can it help any type of business?
Well, it's good to say that from different countries because then you'll be able to see how people communicate, and this is one sort of global talk for lead generation. Now, why do they need to use this? It's a matter of speed, and we look at this and also demographics and understand people. It's the way how to really measure and really to understand how people do buy things. and how to speed up this process in the buying sales pattern. So, and if you could do this very, very quickly with a particular type of service or particular way, it can help grow your business. And this is what you're trying to do. Grow your business, getting people into your business, finding out what they do very, very quickly. Demographics, what we call sociographics, also what age groups, what are things people do. These are one of the steps also we was talking about when we talk about 7 P's in marketing. That this is, again, something that we're going to share. And why is it very, very sort of crucial to understand this? So this is the starting point of your business, and this is something is key you should be using today.
And how will this help our listeners against competitors?
Well, this gives you a real abundance of advantage here. Lead generation can really outrank your competitors. Some people are still in the archaic ways of doing things. And if you start to adopt this way of getting leads very, very quickly, your competitors will realize they're losing businesses. Your job in today's market is customer acquisition. How can you acquire a customers very, very quickly in the most effective way that your customers start to say, they have to think and look up. They will know over a probably period of time if they're actually monitoring their sales, if they're declining and they're seeing you as a business coming up on board. This is how you're going to win the war, the race today, online or even offline, is to acquire customers quickly, get them through the sales process, and get them to the last sale is actually buying from you.
And how much are listeners going to engage in this lead generation process? How much time will it take every day or every week?
Now, again, this depends on how complex you want it to be. I suggest for anybody starting to make it very, very easy as possible. Start collecting leads. That's the first thing. Now, even if it's a simple exercise in getting someone to take a phone number and a name, this will be an everyday activity until it gets repetitive, where you just wake up every morning and you're in the business, someone calls, your first thing is to say, let me collect some information from that particular person. Majority of people fail to do this. They get a phone call, somebody asks a few questions, and they probably forget their name. So most importantly is that you spend some time collecting information from people. It won't take too long. And those who are already within the collecting information, this particular series will help you to collect more information and automate it in a way to speed up the way of collecting the information you do presently have. So it won't take that long, and it shouldn't do, because it's something that you should be taking on as a habit. And once you do, the process will be very, very simple to do each and every day, and you should be in the back of your head because you understand why is it so important to collect a lead at the early stage in your business.
Tell our listeners about the goal that we'll achieve with lead generation.
Some of the goals in lead generation, the goals that you'll be collecting, you'll really be developing strategies. And that's a big, very, very big goal indeed. To learn different types of strategies and, again, customer behavior. The reason why one is a big goal, because this will generate more sales. Leads equals sales. And this is what you need to be thinking about. No leads, guess what, or no customers, you will have no sales at all. It makes pretty sense. So if you think about every lead as a prospective sale, you can start to generate a pattern and also a endpoint for what you have. And you can have an average idea on how many leads that you need to generate to make sales, or to make break even. So this is a clear indication on how your business is going to unfold. And it'll make it very, very easy to understand how your business is going to shape over a period of time. So these are the advantages you can have in lead generation. Some people don't have this advantage because they don't have the leads. They don't have enough to go by. And they are not doing any sort of analytical thinking on how this lead generation process works.
Can you give an example from your experience of how important lead generation really is?
Well, this is something I always do all the time. Now, for setting up small businesses or small campaigns, I can make a prediction straight away. How much is the cost of the product or the cost of the service, or how many leads do I need to actually generate very, very quickly? Now, to doing this at an early stage, I can say what leads type of source I would need to use. Take, for example, if I need to sign up with a Google paid traffic campaign, so to speak, called it PPC, that I would know how much it's going to cost. In way back in the future, in the past, it was a situation you had to buy into a service and you would be guessing. Now, doing lead generation has helped me in many multiple campaigns solve the problem of the initial starting point. How much do I need to get going? Yeah, what is it that I do need out of this campaign, and where are the people that do I need? So this lead generation process at the start can help you shape your campaign. And it has helped me personally in a number of things and stopped me wasting a lot of time getting the wrong type of person to the wrong type of product.
Great, thank you. So we will be doing a 4-week series in this webinar. Each week we'll talk about something else on lead generation. And what content will we be covering?
The content itself, from top to bottom, I have researched from different sources, different ideas, and again, you've got my sort of 25 years worth of experience here in these series. Definitely packed with information. Obviously, we'll start talking about lead generation, why we need it, different types of models, then swiftly moving into researching leads. Now, this is a key area, and I honestly say to everybody, do not skim on this. Listen to this over and over and over again when we go through this, and I will cover certain things that needed to be done within your business. If you're starting, if it's small, again, if you've got somebody who doesn't know about lead generation, just take a listen. Get yourself involved. The researching of the 7 P's in marketing is one topic that we'll be talking about, why it's important. Don't go too deep into marketing itself, but this is a key area that someone should be listening to. Choosing your targeted audience, that's another area that we'll be looking at. Demographics, social graphics, we've talked about this, but this is something we need to understand, and it's just the preliminaries here of researching leads and going into that area. Moving on from there, we'll go into the lead collection process. How the steps unfold from start to finish. Just to give you a summary here, an offer. What is one, and why do we give somebody an offer? We've got what we call CTAs, this is a call to action. These are marketing terms, but again, this is a summary of what we're talking about, and we go into the landing pages and also forms. So you probably have heard some of these terms out there in the internet world. We will go into greater depth on why they need to be precise and what you need to be doing. We'll talk about, again, what types of information to be collected. Thinking about that. Now, that's another area many people fail to recognize, and they go off into too much information and they lose the actual lead itself because they've asked into too much information too soon. So if you're ever wondering what to ask and how to collect leads, this is another area that's key. And then we're moving to what type of tools do you need? Developing that magical toolbox and that one size-fits-all situation, this will be the one. Having all the tools in one box where you can access them and giving you all the advice you need in that area. If you're using some tools at the moment, how to use them really effectively within your business. That's something that many people don't have the right toolbox. They've got a lot of things scattered all over the place. And you can imagine like it's, again, a car body shop, too many tools. Yeah, guess what? You'll be lost. And if you can have that one magical tool that can actually solve things, this would be the one to listen to. And at the end, obviously, we'll give you some follow-up tips for how to follow up with your leads and why you should do this and why it's very, very, very beneficial. Going into some real tricks and tips that I use personally today, right now, that you could apply for the next 24 hours. So you can see we've got a number of things that we could cover over this particular course of this session. And there's lots that you really need to take involved. This is really, really essential. And this is just a summary of the starting of something brand new.
So how will these topics be distributed over the weeks? Is there a certain setup to how to do it correctly?
Well, within each particular webinar itself, we'll take you through a step-by-step process. Yeah, we'll just go over some few critical things that you need to do. Yeah, I would suggest you get your team or the people that you're associated with, working with in your environment all together, and take a listen for each particular webinar that we do have. Yeah, because there'll be a lot of information that's simple to exercise, simple to execute, say. Now, I would suggest just really take good notes here, I mean, in this situation, and to, cross-reference different ideas. I mean, as I said, I think we'll be here to help you as much as possible in each way. So I think it won't be too difficult, and there isn't really too much of a stringent strategy to put together here. But the most objective here is to start collecting leads in a way that is very, very easy. And there will be some simple steps here by going off to what we call autoresponders and just collecting leads from there and understanding the research process.
Yeah, so what highlights can our listeners expect from each of the webinars?
Most importantly, the highlights will be that you're going to get some really, really, really interesting moments. What we call aha moments. Now, when I say aha moments, well, I'll probably ask you a question and you'll realize why and when you've been sold to and why things are in specific ways. Now, you'll be surprised. We'll probably mention something in one of the one of the actual webinars we do about how you go about your average daily life and why things are in different colors. Now, you're probably, what's it got to do with leads? Now, there are certain things that you can say to people that make them do certain actions. Now, if that is the way you can actually persuade people to do things, you can imagine what that can be done. Now, no, we're not talking about NLP or any sort of focus tricks, but the most importantly, we're talking about strategies, and these are the highlights and the key things that you can do in your business today that can bring in more people and give you more customer acquisition and beat your competition.
So how many different strategies are we going to go over in the webinar?
There's different types of strategies. Not all the strategies will unfold for everybody. There's so many that I really, really can't put a number to. But once you get the basic understanding of some of the strategies that I'm going to have so many basic ones, but that really, really, really that you can apply. And that's what we'll intend to do. Just give you some basic information to start with, and you can start to imply some of the more complex strategies yourself. So the most important thing, we can say a lot of things here, but you've got to implement them. And that is the key here. And if you can implement the very basic strategies that we give you, that's the starting point. And then you can take that, and throughout the actual webinars that we do provide, you will be surprised how many strategies that we've actually put to you down on a piece of paper.
Okay, excellent. So what can our listeners expect to gain from these webinars?
To gain from the webinars, again, this is that Paradise box. We're giving so much information here. So what you could gain here as a business, medium and large or small business owners, is to understand how marketers today use lead generation as a way of really developing new business, or even the starting point. So again, if you haven't really done marketing before in the past, this is a good way to start. Understanding what is lead generation, why is it so effective? Now, why should you implement it into your business today, and where you should be going into the future? What you could gain here is beating your competition. How about that? Very, very easy. Starting online. If you haven't thought about doing lead generation online, here is the actual starting point. This will actually explain the basic fundamentals, what tools you should have, where to go next, and why. Who is your actual go-to person? These commonly asked questions will be explained in each of one of these webinars. It's simple. All the information will be here, tightly put together, and I will be here to help you with our colleagues to give you that reassurance that you will now move ahead in this whole sort of internet web affair of information. So you'll be definitely gathering good information from us.
Could you give an example of how lead generation works for one of the large companies?
Well, for one of the large companies out there, I was quoted NEC as an example. It's somewhere where we can also cut down doing multiple research testing. It's an average idea where, again, using lead generation has increased a lot of sales. Now, one of the another study that was actually given out there where they use a particular software package, and this is what we call a CRM. Now, that enabled the actual company to increase more leads using the CRM system. And again, ignore the technical talk there, because it's just a software package that allows you to do things very, very quickly. Now, doing this where they used to do it with the paperless office, you can imagine with lots of paper when things get lost and you've got to run around and find things. They had a CRM system that helped the actual business move more into a robust infrastructure and targeted offers. So they gave them the information to have all this data very, very quickly on hand, which helped the business really move into the information technology sector. So if this is the type of sort of way people are doing things in the past, businesses like this, now are moving into the technology area, using the lead generation system to do more things effectively, increasing volumes very, very quickly, even over a period of time that's never even recorded before. So businesses out there, this one in particular, use the lead generation situation versus the old methods, fine-tuning quality leads and also scoring big high returns within the environment. And that's what companies want. They want a very, very quick ROI quickly and to see where things are going.
Thank you. Now, throughout the webinar, will you also be sharing recommendations of services and providers that our listeners can use if they need some extra help?
Certainly. This is one of the key goals I personally would recommend in some areas that, again, the tips I use, and definitely going into some things that not many people would share with you. And that is, my personal touch towards the listeners out there, that you need some good tools here and good recommendation of places where you can go and see what's happening. Even if it's the basic tools, I will recommend it to certain things, what to do, what to look out for in different areas. That's another added bonus. We'll definitely want to add for you, because I don't normally share these secrets to a lot of people, and you definitely come to the right place to get the information you need to get you going in the places that no other person's been before. And it won't be, again, something hard to reach and to do. It's very, very simple, and I guarantee you want to get going right now with all these information. But I would say, just wait to the end, and we've got something special for you.
Yes. So what else will we be learning in this webinar?
Most importantly is just some basic practices. And this is something that basic and best to say practices that some people fail to address. So these practices, they need to be brought to attention, because this will help you get along and get to the next stage when you're going to do your lead generation. Once you've got the basic outlines of certain things, you'll get going, up and running, and then you can apply these basic common practices, or even some, little tricks I do share along the way, because that will help you understand what is really happening. Another thing that they will actually learn is understanding market research and marketing 101. So if you haven't done marketing before, or you just want to get into lead generation, again, this will be an area that you could learn something new, and understanding how people think, and how to sort of build a relationship with a person. You probably build a relationship with the lead, but these are your customers. So we'll be going through some of these things from top to bottom, so you can understand how it unfolds and how it will make your business more effective.
And what types of businesses can benefit from our webinar?
We don't discriminate anyone. Small businesses, large businesses, it doesn't really matter. It's something that a business should address. Lead generation is here to stay, and it's increasingly moving very, very fast down the chain here. So no matter how big or small your business is, if you're a solo trader, again, if you're a joint partner, I suggest you should get involved here. You shouldn't, definitely miss past this one, because there are information, and this is the starting point of generating new business. So regardless of what business size you are, definitely take a listen, and definitely keep involved with the show.
Okay. Is there anything that you advise our listeners to study and get ready for before our first webinar, or are we really going to start it from the basics?
We're going to start with the basics. This is what we always do. We'll make it as easy as possible for people to follow. One thing I do address to everybody: take good notes. Yeah, get yourself prepared. Stay clear of any distractions, because we're going to go over some things that are really important that personally I would like you to write down. And it will help you along the way. The notes will tell you what to do and how to execute them. So you can go back over them with what we said, and if we can reveal any secrets that need to be addressed, or you can go out to the website and get some information, that's where you should be looking right now. That's one of the points that I definitely want to stress for people. Take good notes, because we're going to reveal some secrets.
Yes, and what else do you suggest for our listeners to do to get the most out of this webinar?
Follow each step carefully, one by one, going through each particular one of them, and going over them. Repetition is the most important thing. Set some goals and deadlines here. So if we tell you to go do some research for a day or so, and come back, go out, do some research. Give it a try. It's not going to hurt because it's only time you're losing here. And we don't want you to spend so much time on it. But the most important thing, the information that we give you here is priceless. And all you've got to do is try and execute it so if you can make some good results here. And we're going to teach you things in how where you can do research on certain products and services where you can get the best from it. And this is going to help you as a business owner. Majority of people fail to do good research and they get the wrong results. We, on the other hand, are going to do the opposite. We're going to do some research and get some good results, giving you some of the tools that nobody else has been used before, and showing you some strategic strategies that can help you to look at research data and understand what is going on, and even reinvent the wheel and see how your competitors are doing it, and understand what you could do just by looking at your competitors and seeing what they are doing. Now, how's that? In times like this where you can be paying lots of money to find out research data when you can find it in real time over a period